Okay, I want to welcome you to today's episode of Identity Shift. I am here with a very special guest and the pioneer, the flag planter in Denver, Colorado, and opening the state of Colorado, our original broker, superstar, Founders PAC member, and somebody that you're going to learn a lot from. And I know this is true because I learn a lot from this individual every time I'm with him, from business to family to the whole bit. So without further ado, Mr. Juan, if you can please introduce yourself to the audience.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much, bro. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Juan Gallegos. I've been in the business, real estate business, for over 25 years. Have learned so much, and thank you, Anthony. Yes, we definitely planted the flag here in Colorado because we fully 100% completely believe in what PAC is all about.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. And obviously it's been a great journey, and the episode, and we were kind of chatting a little bit, is identity shift. And so what we really want to highlight is the identity shifts that you've kind of experienced in your real estate business that have brought you to here. And so, I think it was interesting because we were just talking and you said that you were moments away from actually not renewing your license.
Yeah.
Like your dues. And to me, that's wild because, and I'm going to brag on him a little bit here. This was our number one producer in the entire company nationwide for the first quarter. So you got it, right? So like when you hear that, you're like, wait, you almost let go of your license. Wait, what? What had happened? So let's start there. Like walk me through kind of where you were there and then maybe some of the steps kind of moving forward that led you to being here with us today.
Thank you. I think there was a moment in my life, right, that I was 20 years old when I first got my real estate license. I was 21 when I bought my first property. Back then, I was already making over $125,000, $150,000, but this back then was quite a bit of income,
sure, yeah.
Right? And then the 2006, 2008 recession came by. It hit me, and found myself foreclosing on my property. I had a couple vehicles repossessed. Found myself living with my family, with my mom, and my mother-in-law in the basement. So there was a time in my life that I'm like, okay, do I deactivate my license? Am I truly meant for this? Is this something that I want to do? Is this something that I truly want to put my family through again, right? So a lot of these thoughts were coming to mind, and I was hired for this. It was a food distributing company, to where I had to go out there and door knock on restaurant doors and try to open, accounts and stuff like that. I think that was the moment that I was very, very close to say, you know what, I'm just gonna keep this job. The new job that I'm getting a salary, and that I don't necessarily have to be working off of commissions type of thing. So
Interesting. So what how did you get back into the industry? Was it like a sale that went through, or how did you leave that job and then go back into real estate?
Yeah, so I did that job. I remember the first paycheck.
Okay.
And I don't think I've told you this, but the first paycheck that I got, I remember I was living with my mother-in-law in her basement, and I told my wife, and I told her, you know what, I'm done. That's it.
First paycheck?
My first paycheck, I told him, we're going to get you guys out of here.
Oh.
And, I went and met a landlord for a townhome that we were renting at the time. And I told the landlord, on my very first paycheck, you're going to have your rent money. Okay? You're going to have your rent money, and I'm going to give you the word of, my word.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my word that you're going to have your rent every month from moving forward, because I just got hired for this job and stuff like that. So on my first paycheck, I gave him the check, and then I was at that job for about 5 years after that. And I think while I was in that job, real estate was always in the back of my mind.
Were you doing transactions still, or
here and there?
Here and there,
because I wasn't fully focused on doing real estate. Right. It was here and there.
I'm curious, how many? So you have this full-time job, but how many deals would you say back then you would? 4 or 5, 3, 2, 1?
Gosh, I mean, probably I the first couple years that I was hired for that new job,
Yeah.
I think I only did about 3-4 deals a year or something like that.
Which I'm sure, and this is, the reason why I kind of bring that up is because there's a lot of individuals that are watching this right now and saying, look, we're in a tough market. I had to get another job. I'm doing 3 to 4 deals, right now in 2026. And, that's kind of what the thoughts that they're having, so for you, what was the transitioning point for you where you said, okay, like I'm gonna go back full time and I'm almost like gonna quit this job.
Yeah.
Not almost like I'm gonna quit this job because you're not working there anymore,
Yeah.
obviously. So something had to happen, or did you get fired? I don't know.
I got fired.
You got fired.
I got
okay.
fired.
All right. Cool.
I got fired.
Yeah,
After 5 years, bro, I got fired.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, because my wife, she didn't want me to go back into the real estate industry. It was very painful what we went through. So it was her like
The losing of.
Yes. So we foreclosed on our property, right? And then we went through all that. So my wife was like, you know what? I don't know. I don't want you to kind of go back to doing real estate anymore because it was a lot of a very fearful mindset.
Right.
Right. So what ended up happening is that 5 years into that other job, the market started coming back up again.
Okay.
So now I found myself doing real estate
Okay.
more frequently and not focusing so much on opening up new accounts for my other job. So it came to a point where
Your mindset was
my
like.
mindset, I'm like, I want to do real estate because that's what I'm passionate about.
Sure.
That's what I love.
Yeah.
I love being at service. At the same time, I have this job that I'm not opening accounts for.
Yeah.
And then I remember the supervisor calling me in for a meeting, and I'm like, okay, I know what this meeting's about.
Oh wow.
They asked me for my laptop. They said, you're not opening any more accounts? Thank you.
Wow.
So I get out of there. That's the only job that I've ever gotten fired from.
Wow.
Ever gotten fired from.
Yeah.
And I came out of there feeling a little like, mixed emotions. Because
Sure.
I'm like, I just got fired.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, this is my opportunity.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
Yeah, you probably felt that like you were almost like mentally getting fired almost already.
Yeah,
You probably,
yeah,
I'm
like-
just guessing like in that season you're like kind of going through it a little bit. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So PAC Colorado opened in 2023. I think it was like the first quarter of 2023, maybe second quarter. What were you doing before joining PAC? So like then you get back into the business, you're selling, and then like what was the journey like up until kind of joining PAC?
So I get into the business,
Yeah.
and then I remember my previous managing broker. We spoke about, hey, what are you going to do? What are your future plans? What are you trying to do? And I told him, I'm going to go open up my own brokerage.
That's right.
So I opened up my own brokerage. I wanted to try it out. I wanted to see what was out there, and I wanted to see what was it like running a brokerage as a managing broker. Because I've always been a big believer that there was somebody there for me. So my way of giving back is being there for somebody else.
Sure.
And to helping them and grow.
Mentoring
And things like that.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it was like, if I open up my own brokerage, I'm gonna get my time back. I'm gonna have more freedom. I'm gonna be spending more time with my family. But that didn't happen.
What happened?
I found myself back into investing more time in the brokerage.
Sure, yeah.
And mentoring a lot more, and training a lot more, and while I was still in production as well.
Right.
Yeah. So that's I was with my brokerage. I think I had my brokerage for about 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting, right? It sounds like you had that leadership heart, like that where you are. I mean, like for the, I mean, he's just the most servant-hearted individual I want to say in the company. I mean, you were just so like, people hear your name, they're just like, oh my gosh, he's just so kind, he's so amazing, right? And so it sounds like you like that's always been there for the overall like the brokerage schematics of the whole thing was you're in production, you're operating the brokerage, so it just wasn't it wasn't flowing the way that you wanted it to flow. And then I'm curious, prior to joining PAC, like, that's a big decision. I mean, because especially if you have, like, you know, you get your brokerage up and running, then you're making that transition. What did you see on this end, but then also what did you see on this end that made that decision?
Well, I think for me, it was definitely the coaching program that I was involved in before joining PAC.
Right.
Which coaching, a real estate coaching program that I fully believe in.
Yeah.
Definitely life-changing program for myself and for my family. And where it made me realize how many challenges and things a real estate agent goes through. And if we don't become self-aware of the time and the things that we're investing our time in, it can really, it can really wrap us up into investing a lot more time into the business and not having that balance between, the family and work. Right?
Interesting, yeah.
So for me, it was, okay, I have the brokerage and I'm making good money and I'm closing a lot of deals, but where's my family time?
Interesting.
But where did my opening up my brokerage was going to give me back my time so that I can spend more time with my family?
Right.
So that just wasn't working out. And I think that a lot of real estate agents kind of go through a process, and unless we become self-aware of the things that how can I say this? Unless we become self-aware of our purpose,
right,
and our why.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're not taking care of our why, if we're not taking care of our purpose, and if we're not being clear about that, everything else for me doesn't matter.
I agree. It's interesting. Like, on that point, I call it and I was just having a conversation just today. It's like the crystal balls that we have in life, right? Our family, our spouses, our kids, our family, our friendships, like our, and also, yes, business, right? Like there's certain crystal balls. There's the rubber balls too, where if you drop them, and I heard this on Instagram the other day, and mentors have talked to me about this concept, and it reminds me, you drop a rubber ball, it bounces back, but you drop one of those crystal balls, or you feel like you're dropping a crystal ball, it's like more shattering than even a deal going south, or I mean?
Yeah.
Right? So I totally understand what you're saying there. When you officially planted the flag in Denver, Colorado, with PAC, I'm curious, because you're obviously, like, you were the broker of record, so you're getting it started, but also there was some systems in place that were there for brokers and also for the agents. For you, what was one of the systems that really for you was like, this is a system right here that I can see a difference from maybe some of the other brokerages that I've worked with in the past, or other areas that you were working in the past?
Yeah. I think the main thing is treating our business as a true business. And, before I made the decision of planting the flag of PAC Home Realty here in Colorado, it was a lot of going back to asking myself, was opening up a brokerage out of ego? Was trying to help other agents out of ego? Was being there, right? So I went through a lot of ego deaths, in a sense, that when we planted or decided to plant the flag of PAC Home Realty here in Colorado, it was because it just made complete sense to where I wanted to be in life, to where I wanted to be of service to other agents. So for me, it had a lot to do with, okay, there's if I keep my brokerage, the agents that work under my brokerage are only going to mainly learn from me, which I feel it's doing them a disservice, because I don't know everything, and I'm also learning, and I'm also trying to grow myself, right? So now PAC Home Realty comes along. Now my agents are surrounded by a lot of different leaders within the brokerage, not only learning from me, learning from yourself. You're such an impactful human being in my life and the life of others, and other leaders are across the company as well. So for me, it was like, okay, if I truly am of service to other agents and I truly want to see them grow, then collaboration needs to come into place. Collaboration. And that's where, if I remove my ego to the side, be like, I'm truly transparent, and I want to be a service to you and to your families to help you grow.
It's, I love what you just shared, and what's so interesting is I think there's an interesting dynamic in real estate where it's I want to say competition. It's almost like a competition dynamic versus a collaboration, a collaborative way, which is what we talk about a lot. And I think that's so big of you. Like, I think it's so mature to say, you know what? There's the ability to get exposed to so many more leaders. There's the ability to learn from other individuals. Not to say that they're not still going to learn from you, because I think I'm always learning from everybody all the time. But that network expansion of being able to really collaborate, as you said, and really almost like 10x the growth is pretty powerful. So for yourself, Juan, I'm also curious, what has been maybe a challenge that you've experienced while being a part of PAC, right? Like, if there's a challenge that happens that you're like, damn, like this is tough, because it's not all sunshine. It's not all sunshine. You open a brokerage, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right?
Well, I think when you see something that helps you and inspires you to become better, to become a better human being, to be or believe something or a version of yourself that you didn't think it was possible, you want it for everybody. So it's not so much of a challenge, but more wanting it for everybody else, to where maybe a couple people here and there maybe don't see it the same way, which is completely fine. But you see where I'm trying to get with
course.
that? Yeah. So it's those things that, for example, the structure, the systems that we follow in PAC, all the education, all the training, right? The why, the prophecy letter, all these things, you see the value in them. And
because they've helped you in some way, shape, or form.
They've helped me.
Right.
And then you see, and I say this with love, but you see an agent, closing 3, 4, 5 deals a year, where you see the potential in them, but at the same time, no implementation of the structure, system, or tools that has them stuck, is where, like, but if only you did this,
as a leader who almost gave up their license, had multiple ego deaths, right? Like, I see exactly how that could be a challenge, because you almost want it more for people than they do for themselves in a way.
And I get it. I understand that everybody is in a, that's why I say it out of love, because I do understand how a lot of people are in their own path. And we all have our own stories. And we all have our own challenges, right? And we, but again, it's what the things that helped me. I understand that it's not going to help everybody else, but it's that figuring out what does help you and the tools that are going to help you have that growth and success that you desire in your business.
Yeah, I just, like, for those of you that are watching, I think we all kind of are guilty of this a little bit in our own ways, right? We're all kind of guilty of, like, we get the mentorship, however, we don't necessarily take the mentorship, right? So I think we're all kind of guilty of that. So I just think that's a very, I guess the point I want to make to the audience is, like, there's a lot of wisdom behind that response and behind that answer. So, I would just, even, like, right now, I'm thinking to myself, like, I need to question what are the areas that I'm not being coachable in. right? Because there's so much wisdom in what you just said right now.
That.
So, which is super powerful. So I'm also curious about the lifestyle change that you experienced. Operating your brokerage, prior to that, being an agent, kind of part-time, going through work, things along those lines. What has been the lifestyle change, or the biggest lifestyle change that you've noticed in your dynamics at home, family, the way that you operate your business since being a part of PAC?
Yeah. I mean, I think since being part of PAC, it just understanding my true purpose and understanding my true why. Why is it that I wake up every morning? With what intention? What is it that I'm trying to achieve? What version of myself is required in order for me to get to that next level type of thing, right? So for me, it's like, I mean, you have a kid, at 9, 10, 11 years old selling fruits and vegetables, to having a completely identity shift, to where that as long as I move and take action, God will bless me with the opportunities that are meant for me and my family. Right. So for me, it's that being surrounded by beautiful human beings across the community that believe not only in working hard, right, but doing it with intention and doing it with a purpose and being present for the people that you love the most. Yeah. Because there was a point in time in my life that, drinking, coming home, late, working Saturdays and Sundays, not having a structure, not having systems, not having time management, not having accountability, and I can go on and on and on and on, right? But unless you're surrounded by like-minded people that truly value the relationships, being present there with love for the people that you care the most for, and also while attending to your business and building a business that allows you to have that leverage and that freedom, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to be surrounded by those people as well.
That's a huge lifestyle change. That is a huge lifestyle change. No, it's so, we talk about it, right? Like, you take the extended lunches where you go to lunch for 3 hours, 4 hours, you come back to the office, oh my gosh, you go home, it's been a long day. It's like, versus, like you said, I think you said it so perfectly, like, you wake up on purpose. That's massive. When when you can go from waking up just going kind of with whatever the crowd is doing versus waking up and being on purpose, that is powerful stuff. For you, Juan, what does the future hold? What is the vision? What is, whether it be for Denver, whether it be for your personal production, whether it be for your team, what is the vision in the future hold for yourself in the next 5, 10? How are you looking at the future?
I love being at service. I'm passionate about being at service. And I think as a leader, there's also a responsibility in a way, because you inspire others to help them, right? Possibly, or help them see maybe a life that they didn't think it was possible, right? So I still want to, I look at myself being at service still, right? Obviously, we want to increase the production. We want to get to a level where we can say, you know what? I get to do whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I want.
Sure.
And just having a lifestyle that provides me and my family and, be a service to others. I truly believe in just bringing that value and showing others what's possible, man. I don't like to talk about, like, how can I say this? Oh, I want to have millions in the bank.
Sure.
I want to have millions.
Sure.
I think life is a lot more than that.
Yeah.
For me, right? For me, it's not. Even though that is a vision, and there's, I have certain thoughts about where do I want or how do I want my bank account to look like, investments and all that stuff. For me, it's just truly living in alignment with my purpose.
Well, I think it's beautiful, and I think that when you're focused on service, right, and you're focused on living a life that's on purpose, like everything will magnetize the way that it's supposed to magnetize. And so I know we were talking about some things, and I'm really excited because I just feel like the nation, the country, the world actually is in for a real treat with where you're going. And I love the way that you so adequately put that your passion is service, and that's really where you want your heart to be. So I just think it's great. With that being said, you have somebody that's watching, right? And they're like, man, I'm not making sales right now. I'm not, I'm ready to, that's it. Let's talk to that person, right?
Let's talk to that
I'm ready to I'm ready to do I even renew my board dues? It's June, it's the middle of the year. Do I even renew my board dues? What would you be sharing with that person right now?
Don't even think about it. I mean, if I can talk to you from a leader standpoint, I think it comes down to the way that, or the activities that you do on a daily basis, waking up with purpose, waking up with the intentions. What is it that you get to do when you show up to the office, for example, or the moment that you wake up? What is the first thing that you do when you get to the office? What is the other thing that you do? Do you have log times? Or who are you calling? Do you prospect? Are you truly creating a structure that will help you create and build the business of your dreams, right? Like what you were saying, a lot of the times we get coached and people tell us do this, do that, or maybe implement this, implement that, but at times we don't do it. So even before we doubt ourselves that if we're meant or not meant for what we're doing, we have to first ask ourselves, are we being coachable? Are we truly showing up as a student? Am I truly surrendering? Because a lot of the times, my way is not the only way, right? My way is not the only way. And if I don't truly surrender, and allow myself to receive the information that's going to help me transform my life, I'm going to keep on doing the same things that I've been doing for a long time without seeing a change. We only see a change when we allow ourselves to surrender and allow that change to happen so that we can continue to grow. And that growth will only put us in uncomfortable situations, because that's exactly what we have to go through in order for us to get to the next level. Unless we don't put ourselves into uncomfortable situations to where we have to be honest with ourselves, and that can be uncomfortable to a lot of people. Being honest to ourselves and truly asking ourselves, am I truly showing up for myself, for my family, every time I hit those phones? Before I hit those phones, who am I doing it for? Because if I go home and I didn't schedule appointments, if I didn't make the phone calls, if I'm not following a structure, if I'm not following a system, what am I going to go back to my wife to? What am I going to tell my kids?
Can you share, because I think it was so good, can you share what you shared with me earlier, where so he just talked to his team, and I thought it was powerful because I thought it was so spot on about the 5 contacts. And you said, before we were even in the market that we're currently in, listen to what he told his team.
Yeah, so I told my team this morning, we had a team meeting, and I told them, remember, I told all my team, remember before we went into this market, that the market was going to change, and that what used to take us 5 calls to get 1 appointment, for example, or 2 appointments, right? Because everybody was buying back then.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so especially 2020, PPP and all that, all the COVID, whatever, just not that long ago.
Yeah.
It's
So what used to take us 5 calls, now we have to make 100 calls. Now we have to make even if it takes us to make 200 calls. If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. If it takes me, instead of showing up to the office at 9 in the morning, if it takes me showing up at the office at 7:30 in the morning to make it happen for me and my family, then that's exactly what it's going to take. If it takes me to instead of making 200 calls a week, maybe making 500, 600 calls a week, That's what it takes.
So
That's exactly what it's going to take.
well, it's interesting because you also shared earlier that during like the recession period when you were in that funk, that you weren't doing the additional work required to survive in that market. You were actually doubting yourself.
With these type of markets, Anthony,
Right.
there's a lot of fear.
Right.
And, people, agents fall into a fearful state of mind, right? We have to understand that in any market, there's opportunities. It doesn't matter what market we're in, there's opportunities. It's going to take for us to go out there and look for these opportunities. So I was telling Anthony that if I had a different mindset back then, I would never have foreclosed on my property, and I would never have had those 2 cars repossessed, right? Because my mindset wasn't there. The community that I surrounded myself back then was a very fearful community. It was a community thinking that, oh, the world's gonna end type of thing, right? Oh, there's no work, there's no money, everybody's gonna lose their jobs. And when you surround yourself with that type of community,
That's what you get.
that's exactly what you're gonna get. But with PAC,
Opportunity.
opportunity. Opportunity.
No, it is really
Powerful human beings such as yourself, because Jose Bonilla, Gustavo, right?
We believe. I genuinely believe we all. I mean, I believe it. I genuinely believe like opportunity.
opportunity.
Yeah,
Opportunity. And opportunity is everywhere.
it's everywhere.
It's absolutely everywhere. And
But like you said, are we willing to show up to participate in the opportunity? That makes sense.
Exactly.
That's
Right?
good. Yeah.
And we were talking about how certain markets
Yeah.
require you a different version of yourself.
Right.
Require
That's
you
right.
an identity shift.
That's right.
Require you that unless there's a change and you adapt to the change as quickly as possible, right? The longer you take to adapt to a market, well, the longer you're gonna struggle in a way, right? The longer is gonna be the pain.
Yeah, you're feeding the fear monster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The quicker you adapt, hey, let's go. Again, if it's going to take from us making 5 calls to 100 calls,
Opportunity. There's an opportunity there. Juan, where can people find you? Where can they get a hold of you? Where can they communicate with you? How can people get in touch? If you have referrals in Denver, Colorado, Juan's your guy. How can they reach out to you? If you're ready to be coached, mentored, I genuinely believe that this individual will help you dramatically.
I appreciate it, Anthony. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I can only speak from personal experience.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I can only, mentor, guide,
Sure.
be of service through my own personal story and my own personal experience. Is my way the only way? Absolutely not. We're surrounded by beautiful leaders within the company, and all I say is that I love being at service. And if there's anything that I can help you with, that can serve you and that can help you, maybe give you a different perspective on the way you've been running your business, that's what I'm for.
Sure.
That's exactly what I'm for. It's my way of giving back, some way, shape, or form that I can. I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. I don't
Like at Juan.
Yeah, so it's Juan on Instagram. It's Juan Gallegos _realtor. Facebook it's Juan Gallegos, and then on TikTok it's Juan Gallegos as well, I believe. So
Perfect.
I'm there.
Well, thank you so much for today. I know that whoever listens to this episode is going to really enjoy it, and I genuinely believe I learned a lot, and I know we got the opportunity to chat a little bit beforehand, but this has just been an amazing evening, and I'm glad we got it on camera. So thank you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much.
With that being said, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you watch some of the other episodes, because there's a lot of gold that's being distributed. Let's get it. Let's go.